You hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I like? Patreon.com/Inkdependence keeps this blog ad-free. Hello folks, welcome to Inkdependence. I'm Mike, and this is the custom 912 from Pilot. This is a classic looking writing instrument, resin body that is black. I think you can have it in any color you want as long as it is black. You also get this nice rhodium trim. I've never seen one of these in gold, although I've never seen one in gold. I don't think they exist. So you have this nice sword-shaped clip, which is very classic-looking, clean lines, small cap band, larger cap band with the designation for the pen, which is custom 912, couple of stars, Pilot, made in Japan, and that is all. You also have little trim rings at the top and bottom near the finials. Nothing on those finials. They are flat, but they are also a little bit domed. So yeah, you can't use this pen to stack other things on. It's not going to work. Now, inside this cap is actually the reason that I bought this pen. It is a beautiful pen, but it's also got the number 10 nib in it from Pilot, which is a rarity. I don't know if there are actually any other pens from Pilot that have this number 10 nib. If there are, hit me up in the comments below. I probably missed one or two. But the more common nib sizes are the number 5 nibs that you will find in things like the Pilot Custom 74. Which is like this. You can see it is smaller. And also, the number 15 size that you will find in the 823, which is, again, quite a bit larger. So this nib is right in the middle, and I think it's a very comfortable size to use, but the more interesting thing about this is the wide variety of nib styles and tipping sizes you can get with this size of nib. So with the 15, you can get things like posting nibs, which are curved down, like the tip of a Concorde plane. You can get soft nibs. You can get the FA nib, which is their Falcon. It's a flex nib, which is, I hear, very nice, although I don't really do flex, so I haven't gotten one. And you can also get things like music nibs and C nibs and double broads and triple broads, probably. I actually don't know if that's true. I mean, probably not a triple broad, but like whatever. So many varieties. This one, however, is a WA, and that's why this one got into my collection. You can see here, just underneath that 10 on the nib, that there is a WA, and that means it is a Waverly. The Waverly nib, as you can see here, is upswept. That's not bent. It's not damaged. My old friend Jim Rouse would say, "You know, Mike, I can probably straighten that out for you if you want me to." I don't want, Jim. This is the way it's supposed to be. And he's like, "I don't know about that, man." But the Waverly nib is meant to be a nib that can be used by anyone, essentially. So if you have, I don't know, a wacky hand roll, like I tend to roll my nib inward and rotate the nib on the paper. If you have certain sorts of grinds, that will not feel good and it will not write well. If you have if you're left-handed and you're pushing the nib across the page or doing some other strange thing, underwriters, overwriters, side writers, people who need obliques, people who have correct writing positions, all of them can use a Waverly nib, and it's going to be comfortable. And the reason for that is this upsweep. So if you think about the way a nib usually looks, you have a flat nib top with sort of a ball of tipping at the end, and this is what actually goes on the paper. So if you have that halfway rotated off the paper, it's not going to write well because there's a slit down the middle and you're only getting like one tine and you're not getting ink on the page. If you are pushing it across the page and you have a finer nib, it can dig in and it can feel awful. All kinds of things can happen. But with this Waverly nib, you're essentially writing with the bottom of this upswept bit. And so there's quite a lot of leeway there as to where your pen can be on the page and it still feel good and write a nice line. So that's the great benefit of a Waverly nib, is if you're like me and you're a little bit careless and you just don't really pay attention to your writing orientation very much, Waverly is a nice nib for you. All right, let's open this up. These 912s come with a cartridge or converter system. It is proprietary, and you can see I have a cartridge in here right now. Sometimes I'll throw a converter in, but these Pilot cartridges are really good. They hold a lot of ink, and they don't seem to wear out. Sometimes like the little collar at the bottom of the cartridge on international converters will wear out, and it'll split, and you have to pitch that one and throw a new one in. These seem to last really well. The converter that comes with this pen is the Con 70, which is just a... Nobody likes this converter. It's a huge pain in the butt. In order to do this, in order to use this converter, you insert it into the section of the pen like you would any other converter, but then to fill it, you have to depress this button. So that means you're trying to hold this pen like in a bottle of ink, and you're trying to like push this button, and you're trying not to like let go of it and accidentally slam your nib into the bottom of the ink bottle. You have to just keep working this, and it moves this little piston, and it eventually will fill up with ink. It's an interesting system, and it looks nice in a pen. I actually kind of like the way it looks in this Custom 74, and that's why I keep it in there. But oh, got ink all in my hand. But for don't touch your nib, kids. But for just like, you know, holding a bunch of ink and being easy to use, I'm gonna use a cartridge from Pilot. Thanks. So there you go. That's the filling system. Let's look at this next to a whole bunch of other Pilot pens. Talk a little bit about dimensions and that sort of thing. I will of course have the dimensions at the very end of the video, and we'll do a little writing sample with this cool Waverly nib. Be right back. Okay, so here we have a whole bunch of Pilot pens, plus I threw in a TWSBI Eco because everybody, well, let's throw in one of these two. Throw in a Safari as well for like a size demonstration, because everybody has one of those or has had one of those. So let's start down here at the bottom. We have the Pilot Kakuno, we have the Pilot Metro, the Custom Heritage 91, the Custom Heritage 92, the Custom 74, the Custom 912, our subject of the day, the Vanishing Point or Capless, the Justice 95, and then the Custom 823, which is just a magnificent pen. So here they are all in a row, and you can see that the 912 has like a bigger body than the ones that are smaller than it down here, and it's in the same kind of size range as the Justice and the 823. So really nice sort of size range, although it's not really any longer than the rest of these. It is thicker. All right, let's take off some caps and see how they look uncapped. Okay, so uncapped, this pen is of the same sort of length as the Custom 74 and a little bit longer here than the 92, but shorter than either the Justice, the 823, or the Vanishing Point, which doesn't have a cap, but like whatever. You'll also see that it is kind of a piece with these two, fairly similar in length to the Lamy Safari here. So a perfectly good writing size. It fits my hand very well, although I have fairly large hands, and you can post this pen. I generally don't because it's a long cap and a little bit on the heavy side, so I generally don't post it. But if you're a person that holds pretty far back, perhaps, or you have even bigger hands than I do, maybe posting is an option. You just want to keep this cap band inside the web of your hand, I think, to make it more comfortable and balanced. All right, let's put these caps back on and do a bit of a writing sample. Okay, so here we have the Pilot. The pen, I should note, doesn't usually skip on starting. It's just that I've been waving it around with the cap off for a good 20 minutes, likely. So the Pilot Custom 912. Give it a nice little swoop there. This is the Waverly nib. And it is a number 10. Nib. The ink is Pilot Irishizuku. Yamabudo. Which is a very nice ink. I reviewed this not too long ago because I was using it with that Duruma pen, but I didn't want to waste the rest of it, so I just put the converter or the cartridge back in this pen, and it works very nicely. This doesn't really give you line variation, this Waverly nib. It's going to be pretty much the same either way, but it's a very nice, smooth nib that I like quite a lot. It feels nice to write with. So there you go. That's the Pilot Custom 912. I suggest that you find one of these. It has a really nice section diameter of about 10 to 11 millimeters, which is right in my sweet spot. It is very light at 0.7 ounces. That's just 21 grams, and that's capped. Uncapped, just a mere 12 grams. So it's a very nice light pen to use, and I think these 14 karat nibs are really something that you ought to try out. These pens go for somewhere between $195 and $223. I'm not sure really why I'm seeing the difference there, but where I've been able to find it online, places like Jet Pens and such, it will have some pens at each price range. Maybe it has to do with the nib, maybe it has to do with the scarcity of the thing, perhaps the prices are going up. I don't know, man. But if you can find yourself one of these 912s, I would say try it out. It is worth the try. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. See you in another video. Peace out.